Iron II Doomsday is a game that's a big expansion of the original Iron II game, where we expanded the game to include World War III, where you can play against US or as Soviets or any of those at the other side in a fictitious alternative history World War III over the ruins of Europe in the late 40s. Of course, the entire World War II scenarios from the original game are also included. We've added a bunch of features like we have an intelligence system where you have to send spies to give you information or do covert ops of different types, like stealing technology, making sabotage, causing partisans to rise up, and so on. I will also encourage improve the AI, focus a lot of streamlining interfaces, like having automated features and a bunch of stuff in the game. What else? We looked a lot at what the fans asked for and added those features, like bigger control over some things, more details on others, and so. We've been working on AI since the original Iron was released, or yeah, of course, long before. We've been working on AI forever, it feels. But we've had a bunch of guys who's been working, making scripts and fine-tuning and balancing, have internal development, and I think I did a quick calculation of like 2.5 man-years of development just on Doomsday AI, basically. We've had a lot of focus on various aspects. Of course, the strategic things have not changed, like Germany will attack the Soviet Union and Germany will go to war, and Japan will often attack the US, but we focus a lot on the tactical, like how do they fight wars, how do they build troops, yeah, those kind of things. We've been trying to teach them to work on multiple fronts at the same time. I haven't personally been the programmer working on that, so for detailed answers how they solved it, I can't say that. The German AI there, yeah. He will focus on one. He will almost always be defensive on 2 fronts and offensive on 1 front. That depends on how many resources he has and where it's biggest gain in the end, and who's the most dangerous opponent, and where he actually can win. Of course, it might be that it's good to go offensive on all 3 fronts, and then he will do that. The actual outcomes are in the normal campaigns are either the Axis wins or they loses. So we don't have that many more end options, but the actual outcomes of each battle is it's been endless before, so it's endless in a different way. It's hard to answer that question. It's much harder to defend urbans and fortified areas, because in Doomsday forts take damage in battle, and urbans are not that super fortresses anymore. So Moscow will fall much quicker than, and you can actually charge what's called the Maginot Line in France, and of course you'll most likely be thrown back the first bunch of attacks, but then the forts will not be maximized health, and they will crumble after a few months of assaults, unless you're let up and let them repair. basic setting is like this. It's autumn 1945. Peace has happened everywhere. The Americans have used two bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're occupying Japan, Germany and Austria, and everything has been divided into occupation zones, and the Iron Curtain is starting to come down. Patton, however, has not died, and he's arguing that they should go to war to liberate the rest of Europe from the Soviet occupation. And at the same time, Stalin is like trying to what's it called in English? To establish the communist domination of Europe. So a war breaks out along the borders of Eastern Germany and Western Germany of occupied troops, and the Soviet armies face off against the allies of American, British and even French troops there. Let's take the last one. So I was looking. I saw the Soviets. I was playing hands off just to look what the AI is, because if you're playing a player, if you play either on one side, what you play affect the outcome quite a lot. And when I saw it, I saw the Soviet to take over Korea and blitzing down there and advancing heavily against the British in Iran, but getting stuck up against that river in Iraq, Tigris or Euphrates or whatever it's called, and getting stuck in the mountains of Turkey. But they advanced like up to the Rhine River in Germany, also in the main front, before getting pushed back by American supreme air superiority and American troops being shipped back. Because the British manpower is all about trained, because they don't have much more than the troops they have on the field there. Yeah, you can edit everything in the game. Like it's all like a Windows editor. You can change every date on every province, every date on every tech team. You can change the tech tree to whatever you want. Edit all models, add more models and leaders, ministers. You can open any scenario and define whatever you want in it. There's not a single variable in the data fields that cannot be edited from the editor.